Hi guys, we are back live again to talk tonight about relationship issues. We will be doing this particular topic every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll also be doing this on Tuesday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we'll talk about relationship issues in the workplace, and then on Tuesday night we'll talk about personal relationship issues. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Princella Stringer, and I am an empowerment coach for single moms. And my mission, my personal mission, is to help you focus and tap into your God-given talents and to connect the dots of your natural interests, your practice talents, and your life experiences. I do believe that after all, this is how we can begin to make sense of it all, piece it all together, and find out why you were blessed with the life of single motherhood. All right, so now back to the topic for tonight, dealing with difficult relationships in the workplace. So this can happen with coworkers and peers, maybe even another employee in another department, a leader in the company, could be your boss or maybe not your boss. Could be either way. Unfortunately, difficult relationships, even bullying, happens more times than we care to admit. Now, in a perfect world, everyone can work together professionally and treat each other as responsible adults. But in the real world, however, this is not always the case. And when you're faced with a situation that you have to deal with an overbearing, possibly even bullying behaviors from others, many relationship professionals will tell you that the stress is not worth it. No matter how much you're being paid at a job and no matter how much the job fits other areas of your life, if it's bringing too much stress to your life, that you need to consider resigning. As a single mom, though, this is not the easiest choice to make. We hardly have time to take care of the regular day-to-day to-dos without having to add getting a new job on top of that. So I want to invite you to think of a tip that I have and consider some first things first scenarios before jumping to the conclusion of needing to leave your job. If you're dealing with this now, I want to remind you to be cautious. You want to know who's who, and that is not always clear who hangs out together, who does things together, and who checks in with each other. But get clarity on that before talking to anybody about the situation that you're under. Of course, never share the gossip part of the story with peers. And if you have a tendency to do this, you must stop immediately. The thing with sharing too much information with your peers is that we have a tendency to trust others because we're trying to reach out, we're feeling vulnerable, or we're feeling under attack. And so we want to find some kind of counsel in somebody that we work with. And typically when we work with someone day to day, and they're not a part of that circle of bullying or being difficult, we want to trust them right away. But I just caution you to hold that phone and not be so quick to trust who you can share this information with. Okay, so the next thing I want to invite you to do is to document everything that happens that makes you feel uncomfortable or makes you feel like you're under attack, to just document the date and time of that information. And then next, go to HR. Go to HR. This is the department that you can go to in confidence and with the utmost confidentiality, that you can disclose this information and it will remain private. You should be able to, at any rate. So now these tips that I just gave you, those are no secret. Those you will find in just about any article that we'll share with you on how to handle these situations. But I have something to add to that. My tip for dealing with challenging relationships is to maintain your self-integrity. In the midst of these relationship challenges, this is when you are going to be tested the most. So to put it another way, my tip to handling challenging relationships is to elevate your personal standard. Elevate your personal standard. Know what you value and know who you are in the workplace. We tend to underestimate the importance of self-evaluations, and I did share this tip in a previous video on interviewing. to know your values and how you want to show up consistently in the workplace. This was a great tip that I offered in how to be prepared for an interview, to be able to tell some stories about yourself and who you are, so they can get a glimpse of that picture in the interview process. But now this is another reason to do that, so that when you're in the workplace, if you're faced with these difficult situations, you have a backbone to rely on. So how do we evaluate our personal standard, and how does this pertain to difficult relationships? So first is to know what we value in ourselves and what we value in workplace behaviors. In doing this, you want to identify and watch people that are in your circle of influence that you admire. Hopefully there are people there in the workplace so that you have an ability to watch how they behave, watch what they do in their natural tendency when they're faced with challenging situations, when they're faced with tough situations and challenged by difficult people. What do they do? How do they behave naturally? So if you're able to observe something like this, make a list of the values that you witnessed and what you would personally like to adapt. Match them up with your own personal values, which you've already evaluated that in yourself. Match them up and figure out what you want to adapt in your own workplace behaviors, and what you want to learn more about, right? So some additional tips that I have for you are to let go of any I should haves. So say you were in a predicament where you actually had a very challenging, difficult encounter with someone. As you're pausing and walking away from that situation, let go of any should haves. I should have said this. I should have done that. I should have. That's not going to help you in any of those situations. Let go of that. As long as you remained in line with your integrity and what's important to you and how you will behave in the workplace, that's what's most important. So always act out of integrity first. Hugely important. Remain true to what you value personally and remain true to the behaviors you want to exhibit in the workplace. So stay strong in who you are and how you relate to others. So some final thoughts to consider as you think about how you relate with others and how you're showing up in these challenging situations. Maintain your high personal standard of integrity in the workplace. Now, you also, of course, want to take responsibility for your actions and how you should keep let me rephrase that. You want to take responsibility for your actions in the situation. We want to do a little bit of self-evaluation in this situation also and find out, where was I not in line with my integrity in this difficult situation, and what do I need to own up to, right? So all scenarios like this are very different. From person to person, you're going to have different situations occur and different reactions will be called for in certain situations. So if you have a specific situation where you're dealing with this type of challenge, I invite you to send me an instant message or even leave a description in the comments below, and we can address what were the issues and how would you handle this differently in the future. If you're facing this kind of situation right now, this is the ideal time to go ahead and send me a message so that we can drill it down and evaluate what is the best next step in this situation for you that you're facing right now. So first thing right now that I want to remind you of is to know what you value and who you are in the workplace and how you want to show up. Hold that with high integrity and maintain that level of integrity, and even in these challenging situations. You want to document everything, of course, and take it to your HR department. But the main tip here that I have for you is know who you are, maintain that integrity, and stick with that. It is not easy in these situations, and so I wanted to encourage you to be able to do that. And then in the meantime, discussing and figuring out what are my other options out there. It's always important to keep your LinkedIn updated, keep your resume updated with the current things that you're doing in your that you can update on your resume. It's always a good idea to keep those updated anyhow. So anyway, I hope to hear from you and any concerns that you have in this particular topic. Leave the comments below, and if you're watching the replay of this video, I will absolutely get back to those. So again, on Tuesday night, we will have another live regarding another topic, and I will post that topic of the day on Tuesday morning. So if you have any questions for that day as well, I'd love to connect with you at that time also. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you got some valuable information out of this video. If you want to expand on anything, please do leave a comment, and I'd love to hear back from you. So hope you had a great holiday weekend, and take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.